you ready? I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
Culpy and Chip. And Ghosty.
A band you have never heard before.
Yeah. Neither have we.
This is Ancient Ruins. We actually found each other via Instagram. So we were talking to the big homies. These guys are a band from California.
Orange County, right?
Orange County. All these bands are from California kicking ass. Where's everybody else? Are you guys... California's just taking over the world. I was telling Carmen we should just move to California and just start up a commune.
I said, oh my gosh, I keep thinking about California.
Yeah. California, I'm going back to Cali. Yeah. So, anyway, if there are other places that would like to play music, we'd like to know. But either way, I'm pretty excited for to hear this song because the name of the song is "And There Was War in Heaven," which is a what do you call it? The Revelation.
I'm sorry, guys. I have the hiccups. And
Revelation 12.
I can't make them stop.
So I'm pretty excited. This band, I actually got to talk to the main.
David.
Well, I'm not gonna say the main. I'm not gonna say the main guy. I'm not gonna say the main guy. But one of the founding members of the band. Let's say it that way. If you have a band and you want your band to be featured, all you have to do is hit us up in an email, vinsori@gmail.com, and we will talk about it.
We'll work out the details with you.
Ancient Ruins released their debut album, Kneel Before the Wizard King, on January 1, 2015. Band leader Paul Delgado, that's a guy I talked to. What's up, Paul? Shout out to the big homie. Recorded and mixed and mastered the debut, subhanAllah. Fans have said the following: dreadling vocals, psycho guitar is dynamic and feels like I went to a metal show without having to leave my apartment. Whoa, that's a pretty good
That was a good compliment.
And now you're going to have to live up to it, my man. So Ancient Ruins and War Broke Out in Heaven, let's go.
Okay. Go.
You would think that this is a Christian band, but I don't think they are. I don't think they're a Christian band because they've got other songs. They got the song called "Opposers of Darkness Will Burn."
Yeah.
And it's not a. It looks like from the perspective of a bad guy, and you know, it's like there's no God, blah blah blah. So I don't think that on that day all will learn there's no God to be found. So I don't think that they're necessarily a Christian band, but I do think that he goes like really deep into the ideology of whatever he's. Mm-hmm. He completely sells out to.
Oh
it.
yeah.
You know, he doesn't like he doesn't write from the perspective of an observer. He writes from a perspective of somebody who you would assume is all in it. Mm-hmm. And this is almost like a word for word combination of Revelation 12 and Revelation 20.
Yeah.
So in Revelation 12, you have the war in heaven between Michael and his angels and the devil and his angels. Which did we ever have the conversation as the Jesus Michael conversation?
I think a little bit, but
yeah, I'm like half and half on that. So that's probably a conversation we'll have offline. Or maybe Ian, that'll be one of our little hangout discussion thingamajiggies. So what did you?
I keep getting distracted by this cat in the middle of them two. I've never seen such a thing.
The Adam and Eve thing.
Yeah, and there's a cat curled up between them.
Yeah, that was the real bad guy right there. Is the cat. So
It's the strangest picture.
Well, yeah, this is a pretty famous picture of Adam and Eve, though.
It is?
Yeah, although this.
What is happening over here?
Yeah, this picture looks very strange. So I'm just gonna go ahead and we're gonna get off of that.
What did I think of it? What did you say?
What were your thoughts?
I didn't really like it because the vocal style, it sounded like it was like a mix of like death vocals with like alien sound. Like it had like a really like artificial sound to it that didn't sound. Maybe that's what they were going for. But I'm not a fan of that.
I think overall, what hurt this song was that, okay, so I'm not like a guitarist in the sense of like I'm a guitarist, like this is what I do.
Yeah.
But I know, like when you listen to a song, you're like, whoa, that riff, that's a good idea. You know what I mean? Like it's like when we were talking to the big homie from what band did we just recently interview?
Heat of Damage.
Heat of Damage, and he was talking about like getting in a room and like, oh, that's a good idea, that's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
So when I hear these riffs and I hear the arrangement, because it's not only just the riffs. The hardest part for me about being in a band was the arrangement. Like, where does this fit in the da-da-da? So I felt like they had good ideas on the riffage and good ideas on the arrangement. I think what really hurt them in the song was the production, bro. You got to invest in a producer. Because
how do you know that's not what they wanted it to sound like?
I'm positive that that's not what he wanted to sound like. And if it is what he wanted to sound like, then it's not a good strategy, my guy. I'm looking at this as Paul is doing all of he recorded, mixed, and mastered it. And I just think that they're at the level now where to take it to that next level, they've got to pool their money and invest in some production. You know what I mean?
Well, is that like, so what I'm saying about the vocal thing, is that
I think that's I think that is an effect of the production, So because again, if you're playing a song live, it's different. Like there's things you can get away with playing a song live than you can on your studio record. Yeah. If it's your studio record, you gotta have a top-notch production, not $3,000 a session top-notch, but we know some local-ish type bands like Heat of Damage and Gershok that maybe can get us some hookups and stuff. But the big thing for me sonically, so I love the riffs. I love the ideas. There were the way that they did the song, especially the introduction. I keep saying they, even though it looks like Paul is kind of running this, but I'm going to say they because you need a whole band. Right. The way they did the arrangements and the riffage and the way they introduced the song and the whole nine, I'm like, whoa! Like I really, really, really loved it. The musicianship was actually my favorite part of the song.
Oh, me too. I agree.
So what was upsetting me was like, this really deserves a professional, mixer with some, to drop some money. Even if it's just your single.
What does the mixer do? He brings all the sounds together to make sure that it sounds good?
He brings it together and he gets all the levels up and all that. It's the difference between that verse that I dropped on the Empire Leader thing versus, us with GarageBand. You know what I'm saying? Like, we went to a studio and the whole 9 yards, and you guys will never hear that verse because it's buried deep within the regions of whatever. So
I've heard it.
It is a decent verse. So that was the main thing for me, was the production was actually frustrating me a little bit because I know, and guitarists, all the guitarists in the village, you're going to be able to say, oh shit, no, that's badass. But the production hurts it, because it's almost distracting to a point. Yeah. What did you think lyrically about what he was trying to do?
To me, it sounded like...
He combined Revelation 12 and 20.
It basically sounded like the type of end of the world stuff that I grew up with.
What do you mean?
It sounded like dispensational, can you bring the lyrics up?
It was almost word for word quotation of Revelation 12.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Why are you making that face?
Well, you can't blame that on the dispensationalists.
Well, we were dispensationalists and we had the scriptures, so that's what it made me think of.
Oh, okay.
Made me think of just that end time sort of, this is what's going to happen. Although I never remember hearing that somebody was waiting by the water to drown the girl.
No. It was the woman was giving birth to a child, and he was there to devour her.
Oh, I thought it said drowned.
No. But then what happened is it says that God provided the wings of a great eagle, and she went into the wilderness for 3.5 years. But then the dragon opened his mouth and sent a flood to drown her.
That's right.
But then the ground opened up and swallowed up the water.
That's right. I remember that now. Okay.
Yeah. So so he was basically going like line for line in Revelation 12, which I thought was pretty risky. It's risky
What?
in the, because now I think about it, it's probably not that risky, but it's risky in the sense of like, yo, I'm coming to a rock show, I'm not coming to a Bible study. You know what I mean? Like somebody could say
but
that.
everybody's okay with. Most people are okay with Revelation. I knew tons of people that were like, I never did the Bible, but I looked into that Revelation shit, and that's scary.
Yeah. No,
So
you're right.
I don't think it's.
I agree. No, you're right about that because you're right because I'm very, very surprised. You know, Behemoth I think is the best at it of using the biblical. Whereas Nergal kind of stays in the intertestamental stuff. He kind of stays in the middle stuff with Azazel and all those guys. And yes, Yan, I still owe you a conversation, but. This is Revelation, so I think Nergal is probably the best at it, but this one was a really crazy attempt, and it's interesting too because you have to make decisions on what you're going to do with the song, and he decided to talk about Revelation 20 where he gets the devil gets locked up for 1,000 years, and then he gets let out, and then the fire from heaven consumes him, and then he gets thrown into a lake of fire and all the rest of it, and it was really interesting because he talked about the devil getting burned to ash, and then the next line has him being thrown into the lake of fire, and it's like, wait a second. So that's one of those things where it's like, well, I didn't think that through. Like I hadn't really thought of that before. Where it's like, well, did you throw his ashes into the lake of fire,
What exactly happened?
Maybe the lake of fire is a metaphor for something? Yeah, I think that's what it means. So that's kind of where I was at. I thought lyrically it was good, and I was wondering how he's gonna end the song. Like halfway through, I was like, how is he gonna end the song? Is he just gonna end it with Revelation? Yeah, because Revelation 12 is more than just the war in heaven stuff. But he capped it off by going to the front end and the back end of Revelation 20, which if you don't know the Bible, it's kind of whatever, but like to me, I thought it was actually pretty complex lyrically to do that. Because he just took the front end and he took the back chunk of Revelation 20 to kind of do the last third of the song. And to make that match with Revelation 12, which of course goes to the certain schools of interpretive thought.
Right.
Like lyrically, I could put this together. Because I've actually never done this. Like I've taught on Revelation before, but I've never put them like side by side like that and said, there's some similarities here and all the rest of it. So there you are.
So you're saying it was Revelation 20 and what?
He took Revelation 12 was the main text that he operated from, and then he went to Revelation 20. Because Revelation 12 is the war between Michael and the dragon. Okay. And Revelation 20 is the binding of Satan, and then the loosing of Satan, the final rebellion, and then the destruction of the wicked.
Okay,
so
I see.
That's extremely that's difficult to pull off, and he did a really, really good job.
It makes you wonder, like, did any of these people grow up in a religious household?
Sadat, yeah.
Or was this like, is it like one of those situations, like I said, where they're like, I don't want to do the Bible, but Revelation I'll read into. You know what I mean? Like, right. I'd be curious. Let us know.
That's a very good question. All right, what do you give the song?
5.
This song would have been an 8.5 for me, but the production really hurt it, in my opinion. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
And this is for everybody. Just because you do a review doesn't mean we're going to give you a stellar review. We're always going to be as brutally honest as we possibly can, because that's what we're about.
Right.
So, shout out to the big homie. I loved it, but I think now, in order for you guys to crest onto that next level, you got to invest in production. So I'm going to give it a 6.
5.
Brilliant writing, though. Very challenging writing. Good job on that. We got to get out of here. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Two ways of a